Poplar Lawn Historic District is kind of strange. There used to be a hospital down the street, and in the late 60s, early 70s, a lot of the large homes around this park were starting to be torn down to make room for one-story office buildings. The residents of Petersburg recognized that this was a tragedy, that these were some one-of-a-kind homes with just architecture you don't see every day. So, in 1979, the first part of the Poplar Lawn Historic District was put onto the National Registry of Historic Places. The homes in that area are very large. They were predominantly built from the mid-1800s up through the year 1920. Most of them being built between the years of 1880 and 1920. Across the street from the park, there was another middle class, upper or lower middle class neighborhood. This neighborhood wasn't being torn down for any sort of reasons. It was just falling into disrepair to the pathetic point. So in 2005, there was an addition made to the Poplar Lawn Historic District. What we're going to be doing is looking at the various houses, the different architectural styles on some of these streets. So make sure that you subscribe, click the notification bell so that way you can see when I release my next video.
Hey, this is Harrison Street. Hey, this is 326 and 328 Harrison Street. It's an Italianate style home built in 1880. It has 2 stories with a 5-bay gable metal roof. It sits on a brick foundation. Its chimneys are at the northern end of the home. The second floor projecting bay window has its original double hung sash. The other second floor windows have decorative surrounds. The porch originally had fluted Doric columns. Now it has wrought iron supports. The full-length windows on the first floor have unusual surrounding pediments. This is 402 Harrison Street. Built in 1880, it's an Italianate style home. It's 2 stories with a low-pitched metal roof. The chimney is brick covered in stucco. The porch posts are replacement. They're made out of wrought iron. This is 414 Harrison Street, the Louisa McGill House. Louisa McGill was a member of the Petersburg High Society. Her husband was a partner in the tobacco export group, Watson and McGill. This home was built in 1850. It's a Greek Revival style. It has 2-story, 3-bay with a side gabled roof. There are 2 brick chimneys that have stucco veneers. The 6.5-foot double hung sash windows have granite sills and hand-molded brick splayed jack arches. The door may be original. It's made of 4-panel wood. The 1-story, 1-bay porch has square columns and a balustrade. The staircase may still have its original turnpost railing. It has the original 3-bay back porch. It's made of common bond brick and it sits on a raised English basement. It also has its original light transom and side windows as well. Hey, this is 450 Harrison Street, the Susie Bird House. Now, Susie Bird was an interesting person. She was not a member of society. She was a local author. What she did was a series of interviews from the years 1937 through the year 1932 for the Virginia Writers Project, the Worker Project Administration. She interviewed 50 ex-slaves who were residing in Petersburg, and she documented their life stories. I'm so glad that somebody took the time to speak to these people before it was too late. Their stories are fascinating, and you can go view them word for word at the Library of Congress. I will include the link below, but they can be found at memory.loc.gov or loc.gov/resource/mesn. As far as the home itself, it has definitely seen better days. It was built in 1860. It's a vernacular form 2-story 3-bay dwelling. It has a low pyramidal side standing seam metal roof, 2.5 or 2x2 pointed top standing sash windows. The porch is 1-story 3 bays. It has square post supports along with a balustrade. The porch cornice has decorative raised panels. The windows on the first floor are framed from the floor to ceiling. They've been obviously modified. The transom is now boarded up. The double-leafed raised panel door is original. This home's foundation is brick pier, and it has a solid brick inlay. Towards the top of the house, right there underneath the roof, are decorative supports. They have stars on them. Like I said, this house has seen better days, but hopefully it will be seeing more positive light in the future. This is 506 Harrison Street, Charlton Manor. This home was built in 1845, and I've got to say honestly, it is so out of place for this neighborhood. The home itself is the only one of 2 houses that has an actual front yard. This was built in 1845 by George Charlton. He was a Methodist minister. Now, the home was rented by Stith Bowling from the years of 1865 until his death in 1915. The Bowling family was one of the founding families of Petersburg, and Stith Bowling himself was a cavalry commander. He was a delegate from the House of Representatives. He was also the Postmaster General in addition to being a tobacco merchant. He and his wife were very influential in the Petersburg society circles. They funded the junior high school around the corner, which is still standing. It is named the Anna T. Bowling Middle School. The home itself, it started out as a Greek revival in 1845. There were additions made to the back of the house in 1900, making it about 2,600 square feet. Its construction is pressed common bond brick. It has a raised English foundation. The windows are 6.5 feet, and the portico is supported by square post columns. This house is still in its original condition. It's been maintained beautifully. In addition to this, it has a side building. The side building may very well have been its original kitchen. It gets unbelievably hot here in Virginia, and it was very common for people to not have their kitchens within their household. The size of the outer building is large enough where it could also have been servants' quarters. This is 514 Harrison Street. It's an Italianate wood frame home built in 1850. It's only one of 2 houses on the street that have an actual front yard. It's 2,500 square feet, a 2-story 3-bay house with a metal roof. The eaves are supported by decorative brackets. The cornice has dental decoration. There are 2 chimneys. They're on the north and the back side of the house. The porch cornice has the same dental decoration as the eaves. The windows are 6.5 feet. It has a 3-bay porch with square and turned post columns, and it sits on a solid brick foundation. This home also has its original wrought iron fence around it. It is in pretty sad condition. This house is also the house where, during the Civil Rights Movement, Martin Luther King Jr. took a few trips here to Petersburg, and this house at that time was owned by the church across the street. This is where he had stayed. This is 528 Harrison Street. This home was built in 1900 in the Queen Anne style. It's 2,700 square feet. It's a two-story, two-bay with a metal roof and lower cross gables. It has 2 brick chimneys. Under the pedimented front cross gable is the original fish scale siding. The narrow windows have decorative pedimented surrounds. The second-story overhang has the original light brackets. The doors may also be original with rectangular light transoms. The foundation is solid brick. It's laid in a 6-course American bond. This is the final home we're looking at on Harrison Street. This is 612. It's a colonial revival home built in 1920. It's 2-story, 2-bay. It has a hip standing seam metal roof with pedimented cross gables. Under the gable is a 4-light rectangular window with a hopper sash. The second floor has a full-width balcony with a door access and a square post balustrade. The 3-side projecting bay extending both stories with double hung sash. It has 1.1 windows. The first story, second bay, full-length porch has Doric columns and a square post balustrade. It sits on a solid brick foundation laid in stretcher bond.